Hi, welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead. Today I'm going to show you step by step how to make pickled garlic. You will need vinegar, garlic, sugar, or honey. I don't typically can with sugar, but I don't have enough honey for this recipe, so unfortunately I have to use sugar. But if you want to, just swap it one for one. And I'm gonna put in some red pepper flakes from my red ember cayenne peppers that I grew in my garden last year. First thing you're gonna wanna do is peel your garlic, and if you want, I will put a video up here in the corner for you so that you can see all the different ways, my favorite ways of peeling garlic. You will also want to have a canner. This will be water bath method, and some jars, lids, and rings, and perhaps a funnel and a bubble popper too. I'll make sure all of those are out a little bit later because first I have to wash all of these garlic cloves, and then I am going to do some trimming on them. I'm gonna cut the tops off, the rough edges of the top, and then also, if you can see that, they are growing tails, so I will be splitting these in half. Actually, I'll just show you really quick what that looks like. So, easiest way to remove the tail from the garlic is cut it in half and open it up so it looks just like that, and then the tail comes right out. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this container. I'm gonna wash them, trim them, and then we'll come back for the next step. I have all of my garlic washed and trimmed the way that I would like it to be in my jars. And now it's time to get the brine together that will be the liquid that goes into the garlic. Now I weighed my garlic. I have just over 3 pounds here, and I'm going to put the main recipe down in the description box, but I tend to use a little bit more of the cooking liquid because I don't know, it's just my thing. I'd rather have a little bit left over that I can use for something else than have to make a second batch. So I'm going to use 8 cups of vinegar and 2 cups of sugar for this brine. And I have 1/3 of a cup already in here. I use this sugar for both winemaking and for my bees. Excuse me. So I just keep keep one in here. Now that we have the ingredients for the brine, we're gonna go over to the stove and heat this up and get it nice and hot. You can, so the pepper flakes are optional. You can add them to your brine if you want to, but I find that they just sink to the bottom, so I'm gonna sprinkle mine on top. I'll show you that in a minute. But let's meet me over at the stove. We have our brine mixture on the stove. I'm gonna put this to a medium. This burner that I have is very aggressive, so I don't want to turn it up too high, but what you want is kind of a medium high temperature because you want the sugar to melt and also you want this to come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, you can take it off the heat, and now would be an excellent time while this is heating up to make sure that your lids are washed and ready to go, and that is what I am going to do as well. So once this comes to a boil, I'll meet you for the next step. Now that we've taken that off the heat, I just want to show you what we have available here for our canning process. We have our pepper flakes, we have a bubble popper up here, there is a funnel, we have, of course, our garlic that is all clean and ready to go. Back here we have a paper towel soaked in water to clean the rims of our jars. We have clean jars, and we also have clean lids and rings. So let's get started filling these jars. Grab a jar here, put the funnel in. Make sure your hands are nice and clean, or you can use a spoon to fill the jar. We will then take a spoonful of the dried chili peppers and just sprinkle them right on the top and fill the rest of the jar with the cooking brine that we made earlier. Making sure to leave a 1/4 inch headspace at the top. And that is about what it looks like. Of course, the garlic is floating right now, but don't worry about that because we measured it earlier, so we know that there's enough cooking liquid to cover it. You'll take your bubble popper and just go around the edges of the food. And you'll take your wet paper towel and clean the rim completely. And grab a lid, pop that on, and attach the ring. This jar is now ready to go in the canner. It's perfectly natural for the food to float. It may or may not, go down after the processing, but it's not important. There's enough liquid in here to do the job and do it right. I'm going to fill the rest of these jars and I will get back to you for the next step. The recipe that I made today made actually 14 half-pint jars, and we've got 12 in the canner. And keep in mind there is a rack at the bottom. Make sure you put a rack in the bottom of your canner, whether you're using a pot or you're using your pressure canner like I am. Of course, I'm not going to be pressure canning. I'm just using the pot because I have it and I like it. I have 2 extra jars here, and I'm going to leave those out for now. If we were using 1/4 pints, we could double stack these, but I'm a little bit concerned that we won't have enough clearance here with these taller jars, so I am not going to double stack it today. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to put my 2 extra jars in the fridge. I can eat those however I want, or if I want to process them later, I can do that. But we're going to focus on these 12 jars for now, and let's just go ahead and fill this canner. It is imperative that for a water bath, you have 1 to 2 inches of water above the top of your jars. And this is the proper amount of water. You can see the water goes up to about here on my finger and right here on the canner. I will check back in with you when this is at a full rolling boil. We cannot start the timer until it gets to that point. See you in a bit. Quick pro tip, go ahead and put your lid on, whether it's your pressure canner lid or just a regular old lid. It will make the water boil faster. Full rolling boil, so we'll set the timer for 10 minutes. I'm gonna put the lid back on before I set the timer. Then we'll move on to the next step. Now that the timer's gone off, we'll turn the heat off. Take your canner off of the heat. Remove the lid and let it sit for 5 minutes. Be careful of the steam, it's hot. 5-minute timer went off, and now we'll take the jars out of the canner. Use a can lifter. Jar lifter? Yeah, jar lifter. Be careful, don't burn yourself. And do not tip the jars. The water on the top will evaporate on its own. Now let your jars sit for 12 to 24 hours to seal, and we will move on to the next step. It's been 24 hours, they are all done. Now it's time to just do the finishing touches. We want to take the rings off, we want to wash the rims, put labels on, and most importantly, make sure that all of our jars sealed. So you'll take your ring off, give it a tap, kind of, pull on the lid a little bit. I mean, don't like get your nails under there and like reef it off, but you'll know if it's not sealed because your lid's gonna kind of slide right off. Once you do that, take a wet rag, wipe the rim just in case you had any siphoning or anything just on the outside of the jar, because nothing is worse. Well, that's not true. The worst thing is when you go to get your food, you find out that it has a bad seal and it's all moldy. But the second worst thing is you grab your jar, it's totally sealed, safe to eat, but there's mold all along the outside edge. Very unappetizing. You can prevent that by just wiping your jar before you store it. And last but not least, put a label on it. If you do a lot of canning, you might not remember what you canned. So I just put what I have in my jar, and I can rest assured that I know what I'm eating and also the date that I made it. These are gonna last a really long time, you guys. I know the boxes say 18 months, but your food is gonna be good as long as your jar is sealed properly. Over time, like years down the line, your canned food can lose its appealing look of it, and I mean potentially can lose nutrients. I don't have any scientific evidence to back that up. We eat our food pretty quick, but I'm still eating carrots and green beans from a couple years ago, and they are perfect. Exactly the way I would expect them to taste if I had canned them, 2 or 3 months ago. They're beautiful. So that is spicy garlic for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you will subscribe and consider becoming a member to help me support this work that I do to teach all of you this cool and fun stuff. Okay, thanks you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.